Hey, everybody. Happy day before Thanksgiving. Hope that you have your turkey brining and hopefully you've already been to the grocery store because I can't imagine what the lines will be like. My poor husband has always been so gracious and goes to the grocery store for me on Wednesday, like today. And so he's like, how about we do things different this year? So I'm not stuck in the chaos. So thankfully, we already have our groceries. I think we paid probably, I don't know, 100% more this year for groceries than last year. But that's not what this conversation about. This conversation is about this lady who had the guts and the wherewithal to start over. So, Dr. Monica Egan, welcome and thank you for
Thank
joining me
you.
today.
Thanks
Yeah,
for having me.
absolutely.
Always fun to do this.
So let's start with how long were you nudged about moving before you and your family moved across the country?
Well, I think there was always something in me. I grew up where I was, and there was a part of me that was just ready to do something different. And there wasn't a home feeling like this is where I'm supposed to be for a little bit. But the true notion was fast. It was like a band-aid. And it felt like when something lined up, it just felt as though the doors lined up and everything just dominoed effect into us leaving. So to answer your question, it was in like we started looking in like something happened in April and we sold and got out in July. So we had a tiny window and I literally posted my office for sale. So April, we're like, Tennessee, that sounds like the right place. And there wasn't another Blair upper cervical doc in Tennessee. So there was a need and there was a niche. And it was just everything just in our heart and in our prayers, everything just kind of lined up and said yes. And so we decided April, Tennessee. We decided to post my practice for sale in May. It wasn't even until like I found about a month, someone by God's grace basically said, I can't believe you're selling this and about to walk away. I want it. And I said, it's yours. And we packed up and I literally still have the image of, I think I left that office so fast, the chairs are still spinning around. So
That's so
yeah,
crazy. So let me ask you this. Does that mean that everything was smooth sailing?
no,
So let's talk
girl.
about that because a lot of times we take just normal life things as signs that
Yeah.
we shouldn't or should do something. However, like I'm sure everyone who's watching can appreciate if you move your family from California to Tennessee, where you really don't know anyone, you don't have a practice yet, you don't know about your kids' schooling, you just know I got to leave here and go there, that there's bound to be some pushback. So
Yes.
let's talk about that pushback and what kept you so committed to the dream of living in Tennessee that even when all of these things came at you guys, it was like, let's just deal with them, keep going, deal with them, keep going.
Well, it is a decision. And when you stick to that decision and it's more than just, well, I want that. And it's more than just, well, that sounds nice. And it really had been a long process. And what's our values and what's our morals and how does that line up? And where we were and where we wanted to be, just everything that we wanted lined up more with our morals and our, that divine connection. It was, um, and therefore, just like, kind of when you say that, kind of reminds me of my marriage. Like things happened and it happened quick. I knew it was right in the depths of my heart, but I knew it was going to be hard. And I knew there was going to be trouble. And I knew that there was going to be the ups and downs. But I knew no matter what, we were going to get through it. And so even my marriage, my wedding song was like, I won't give up on us, and it's like, because I know the troubles are coming and it's not about the good times, it's about the hard times and what you do when you come through those times. So, and I knew it was the same position of moving from California to Tennessee.
Yeah. And so and I love that you brought the analogy that's brain centric. Of course, you know that. Um, of marriage, or even, for those who are chiropractors watching this, like when we decided to go to chiro school, did we really think it was just going to be smooth sailing, that we weren't going to have a class we didn't like, or we weren't going to get kicked in the teeth once in a while, or plans changed?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we if we didn't consciously know that, subconsciously we knew that, and we stay committed to the outcome, or marriage, or like even regaining and keeping your health, like losing weight. Every day isn't going to look the same. And I think it's really easy to, throw the baby out with the bathwater. When we have a bad day, it's probably just a bad moment, not
Right.
likely a bad week or a bad month or a bad life. It's just this moment. And so I just, and use your experience to encourage those who are like, I'm committed to this outcome, but man, right now it's not feeling very good.
Yeah. And moving to a new place or doing anything new, there's so much you don't know and you can't research it enough until you actually live it. And so, there's things, of course, I would do so differently. I wouldn't have sold everything in my practice almost. And it kind of worth the small few days of trouble moving it out here, because now trying to find it and pay for it, I'm like, ugh, but I'm like, it's those tiny little things that you're like, maybe I would do it a little different and like slow down if it's meant to be, it will all work. But I mean, doors are flying open and, things are just falling right into place. And so.
Yes. And what about, Monica, tell us about your new place and how it just like sings to your soul on every level.
Well, it engulfs like so much more of me. I literally have cows as my neighbor. And I think it's funny because now I get to like help people when they show up in my office. They literally give me this like, oh my gosh, where did I go? Am I in the right place? And I'm like, yes, you are. And I just feel so excited. I'm like, don't you just feel peaceful out here? You don't have busy streets and you don't have the chaos. And it's just, I get to represent more of me. And I'm like, I consider myself like a hippie conservative because I love the earth. I love grounding. I love everything that God gave us. And I'm like, let's just go back to what, like, take us back to the Jesus days, because they didn't have all this technology and they grounded every day and they were in linen and they ate organic. Like, organic wasn't a thing, it was their food. And like, it's just like, and so coming out here, there's like a little bit of peace, going back a step, calming down, not racing for the best shoes and the best everything, and not being like, the elite. It's like just being you and just not being infringed upon. And it's just, I love it. I love it.
As you were talking, it made me think of this, like the best is always inside, right? Because even if it is the best pair of shoes, in my opinion, it could be the worst pair of shoes for somebody else, right?
Yeah.
So that experience of best is always on the inside. And so creating an environment that feels like the best, like, I feel that same way. Anyone who knows me knows I'm like the number one fan of living in Alaska. There's something about the energy and living here. And so I just encourage all of you, and that if the environment you live in is a place that you're wanting to escape from, do some searching.
Mm-hmm.
Like starting over is just starting.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
And somebody else, like Monica sold her practice to somebody who was like so excited to now take what no longer served her.
Mm-hmm.
So moving to a new environment, or doing something new, anyone that is wondering right now, you've been doing it your whole life. We
Mm-hmm.
start new things. It's all about like, that's what we do. Our granddaughter just started rolling over. she had never rolled over before. It's brand new, right? She's
Yeah.
learning new things all the time. Like that's just part of the experience of life. And interestingly, in the mood ring that Rich Carr and Kiran Omani, who are mentors of mine and Monica's in brain centric design, in the mood ring, which there are 7 basic human moods. And the reason they label them as moods instead of emotion is we could typically see somebody's mood. We don't necessarily know their emotions, but check this out. So the mood of boredom has these emotions associated with it: tired, stressed, busy, bored, scared, anxious, indifferent, apathetic, pressured, rushed, overwhelmed, out of control, sleepy, and untouched. We probably wouldn't assign. Were some of those surprising to you? Like, I didn't realize those were boredom.
Especially untouched. Like, you're like something left alone, something just there.
Yeah. And so often I think we misdiagnose our emotions. And if we recognize it's boredom, it could just be a calling to step into something bigger, which maybe doesn't mean you have to move, but maybe it's just an invitation to do something bigger. And I think a lot of, like I hear from doctors, obviously all the time, many people call me when they're struggling. And most often I hear just they don't like the way they're doing business, but they have misdiagnosed that they don't love chiropractic anymore. They don't love being in business anymore. And it's more likely you don't love how you're doing it. No different than, somebody who's saying, I just don't love my marriage anymore. Well, that's probably not the case. It's probably how you're doing it more than the thing. And sometimes that can be like, I need to make a major move. Like there's just something unsettling inside me that I need to go and explore. And this is a really great reason to go and visit different places, talk to different people, and just explore the possibility, which doesn't mean you're making the commitment. So as we wrap this up, what final words do you want to offer to those who are watching us now or watch this later about starting over?
I think ultimately you're gonna know. And there's some people that have to start over because they have to. And there's some people that just know in their gut. And it's kind of a nice start over, like, period. You get to do things different. I have built my practice was built and my vision came to life. And so, I'm still figuring things out. I took on new things, so new problems, beautiful new things that I'm working through. But I literally, I am busting. I get to fully embrace myself and work through. I'm doing better in 1 year than I did my whole practice last year. And I think that's because I'm fully stepping into my true, allowing myself to be authentic and step into my true self. And so, listen to that gut, and that could be the Holy Spirit. If you walk that way, it could be your gut instinct, whatever that may be. It's truly stepping in and letting go, letting God, and allowing that you to be your full expression of life. And so starting over for me, I truly get to step into a vision that either, God created for me. And I'm just so incredibly grateful. So
I love that. And congratulations to you.
thank you.
It's really fun to see you just living in your dream world and just surrounded by all kinds of goodness, which doesn't mean you don't have hard days. It just means like this is the right ground for me to grow.
Yeah. It's what I want. It's like the battlefield I'm willing to fall on, it's like that. It's like every trouble and everything. It's just an obstacle, not negative. You're willing to push it through. And so, yeah, I love it. And I can't wait to see you next week.
I know.
I'm excited.
From today. We'll see
today. We'll be seeing you like Wednesday evening. So
yay.
I can't wait. So.
And what we're talking about is the Ultimate Marketing Boot Camp. It's happening in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. I rented a lodge and we're all gathering together to work and have fun. We even have a prom night with like all kinds of cool stuff you guys don't even know about yet. And it's just going to be a great
Bring
time.
a good packing list.
Packing list. Yes.
Like a
Dress.
prom dress. All right.
Which you've probably never packed for a chiropractic event before. So
No.
even that's surprising.
Yes, you definitely keep us on our toes.
Yeah. All right, everyone. God bless you. Have a great Thanksgiving. Monica, thanks for joining me, and congratulations on your epic start over.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. See you, everyone. Thank you. Bye.